MeMonster.
Chapter 106. I returned the crystals to their rightful places, then headed to Gwangmyeong City Hall. There, we were surprisingly welcomed warmly. It seemed Asura had been quite the tyrant, as the residents rejoiced at finally being freed. When I spoke with them, they told me Asura had led many to their deaths because of his obsession with mana crystals. On the night Asura disappeared, everyone gathered at the abandoned building and held a party. The residents brought rice and meat, and we sat around a campfire, eating and talking happily. Of course, I left as soon as I finished eating. I just didn't feel like I belonged. Here, Kim Hajin, take it. Yi Yang Han handed me a bowl of porridge. For Yu Yan Ha. Although the curse was lifted, Yu Yan Ha hadn't fully recovered. She was still sleeping in the tent. Why are you giving it to me? The others are busy talking. Yi Yang Han pointed at the campfire where Kim Soo-ho and Chae Na-yoon were chatting with Asura's former subordinates. The topic must have been funny, as even Shin Jong-hak was laughing. We've heard the news from Seoul. Right now, Seoul is split into several factions. Gangnam is divided between Shin Yong-chul and Chae-ju-chul, while Gangbuk is... How is Shin Yong-chul's reputation? Shin Jong-hak asked. He's a great person who brought peace to the Gwanak region. Ha, I see. He seemed to enjoy hearing praise for his grandfather. Hearing this, Chae Na-yoon also asked brightly, Then what about Chae-ju-chul? Chae-ju-chul the immortal, Chae Na-yoon's grandfather and one of the strongest people in this world. But contrary to her expectations, she received a negative response. He's not trustworthy at all. I stayed in Seoul for a bit, so I know. He's sly like a snake. He's surely going to do something huge in the future. Chae Na-yoon's expression stiffened. Indeed, Chae-ju-chul wasn't a strictly kind person by my setting. I took the porridge and went into the tent. Hey, I brought food. Yu Yan Ha, lying on the bed, raised her upper body with a groan. She looked a bit disappointed to see me, but tried not to show it. You're pretending to be sick, right? Yes? No, I'm still enervated. I shoved a spoonful of porridge into Yu Yan Ha's mouth. She nibbled on it with a confused look. She really ate like a kid. After chewing about 10 times, she looked at me and frowned. What is it? What? Why are you doing this all of a sudden? Yu Yan Ha looked sullen. Didn't you say you could barely lift your hands? So I'm feeding you. But it was probably a ploy to attract Shin Jong-hak. I grinned and took another spoonful of porridge. Kya ha ha. At that moment, Chae Na-yoon's laughter rang out from outside the tent. I turned, startled by the sudden noise. Wait! Ah! When I turned back after hearing Yu Yan Ha's indignant shout, I saw porridge smeared around her mouth. Oh, she didn't have her mouth open. Open your mouth, would you? What? You're saying this is my fault? I scraped the porridge from her mouth with the spoon and returned it to her mouth. However, Yu Yan Ha kept her mouth shut tightly and glared at me. You don't want to eat? You'll starve to death, you know. No, it's just that it's not very tasty. Don't you have something else? I have one ramen left. Immediately, Yu Yan Ha swallowed hard, but soon she put on an unenthusiastic look and pretended she'd eat it reluctantly. Then I'll take that. This is too bland. I'll make it for you if you finish this. Then Yu Yan Ha opened her mouth and started eating again. Instead of staying cooped up in here, why don't you come out and talk? I don't have the energy to... Yu Yan Ha fell back and pulled the blanket over herself. Since it looked like she didn't want to go out, I got up to leave her alone. But at that moment, her soft voice rang out. Yeah? Thank you. She whispered carefully and sincerely. I simply nodded. It's good that you know. You always end up helping me out. Right. When are you going to pay me back? Yu Yan Ha smiled and replied softly. Hey, don't you think we can become good allies? Allies. Becoming Yu Yan Ha's ally was an easy way to live comfortably. She would become a top-tier CEO in the future, owning prominent corporations in magic engineering, pharmaceuticals, guilds, auctions, and weapons. I can help you hit it off with Nayun. What? I don't need something like that. Eh? You really changed ship? Yu Yanha suddenly sat up. What? Change ship? From Nayun to Rachel? What? No, it's neither of them. I can't afford to like someone right now. Come on, don't lie. Yu Yanha gave me a mischievous look as if she knew everything. I stared back, then nodded. No ramen for you. Eh? Wait. I ignored her and left the tent. I went to Yi Yang Han. She said she doesn't eat porridge. Huh? Really? Yi Yang Han tilted his head and went into the tent. Yu Yanha, why don't you eat it? Don't you have an appetite? Ramen. Ramen? Kim Hajin said he'd make you ramen instead? But I thought you didn't like ramen. Eh? Oh, right. Then just rest for today. You don't have to eat. I don't like you, Yi Young Han. I'm serious. Wait. What? Why? Get out. Just get out. Eavesdropping on their conversation, I put a pot on the burner and began to boil water. Yi Young Han came out and asked, Kim Ha-jin, why are you boiling water? Yu Yan-ha says she doesn't eat ramen. Did she? At that moment, Yu Yan-ha peeked her head out of the tent and blurted out angrily, Leave him be. He saved my life. It would be rude to decline his offer. What's up with her? In the end, Yi Yang-han backed down, and I finished the ramen under Yu Yan-ha's watchful eyes. Enjoy. Thank you. Yu Yan-ha took the ramen into the tent with a happy face. I glanced around, then got on my bike. Kim Soo-ho discovered me. Hajin, where are you going? Oh, there's something I need to bring. In this world of the past, there were things I didn't use in the original story. Although I noted them in my settings book, I didn't have the chance to utilize them when writing the actual chapters. Since a few would come in handy, I planned to bring them back. In the past of 1972, we trained and sparred to become stronger. Instead of staying in the uncomfortable abandoned building, we lived with Gwangmyeong City Hall's residents. For the 2 weeks we stayed, magic power explosions occurred occasionally, and monsters attacked from time to time. However, we worked together with the residents to resolve any troubles. Some of Asura's subordinates who had committed all sorts of misdeeds were chased out through voting. Under the leadership of Kim Soo-ho, evil practices and the hierarchical system were abolished. After spending so much time together, Kim Soo-ho and the others grew very close with the people of the past. Yu Yan-ha was constantly on the lookout for someone who would become the ancestor of someone famous, Chae Na-yoon played with the kids every day, and Shin Jong-hak formed a crew of his own with a crowd that looked quite strong. Kim Soo-ho helped the residents create several facilities and renovated existing ones. Everyone spent their time laughing and having fun. However, I couldn't enjoy things as much as the others, as some of the people I killed remained dead. I didn't know whether the residents were unaware or pretending not to know, but they treated me kindly. Time passed quickly. Currently, I was sitting on a barbershop chair, surrounded by many people. This is great! My hands were itching every time I saw your hair. Yeah, it was the perfect length 2 weeks ago, but now it's way too long. That comment was from Chae Na-yoon. I smiled and nodded. I looked around, wondering if it was okay for a barbershop to be in the middle of the road. Kim Soo-ho and Yi Young-han, Chae Na-yoon and Yu Yen-ha, Shin Jong-hak with his arms crossed, and many people of the past had all gathered to see my haircut. By the way, can you leave a little bit of his beard? Chae Na-yoon asked. Huh? Why? I want to shave it entirely. I rubbed my beard. I had a feeling Avondel would be shocked if I went home like this. I think you'd look better with some of it left. Na-yoon. At that moment, Yu Yen-ha spoke to Chae Na-yoon with a smile. What does it have to do with you? Eh? Chae Na-yoon fell into a daze. Yu Yen-ha continued with an even bigger smile. I'm genuinely curious. Why does it matter how he looks? What? I'm just trying to recommend a better path for him. Is that why you went on a drive with him last week? What? Shin Jong-hak's eyes flickered coldly. That was because we were in charge of getting food. What are you trying to say? Unable to endure it any longer, Chae Na-yoon shouted. Yu Yenha backed off, moving her eyebrows up and down. The surrounding residents smiled. Then I'm starting. The barber began to cut my hair. Scissors grazed my head, making it lighter as my shoulder-length hair was cut off. I slowly enjoyed the moment, the laughter of the residents, the light breeze, the warm sunlight. And he doesn't look all that bad, hey? Of course, he's the one who drove away that tyrant after all. But what did he defeat him with? Not even Dong-suk could do anything against him. The view of the past that would soon disappear. All right, done. Now it's time to shave. The barber finished cutting my hair and took out a razor. I was startled as he brought it up to my face without any shaving foam. Shuk, shuk. But feeling the barber use his magic power in place of shaving foam, I calmed down and trusted him. Soon, the shaving ended, and the barber gave me a mirror. Oh! When I looked in the mirror, I was surprised. I wasn't even sure if I was looking at myself, and I was clearly not the only one who felt this way. Chae Na-yoon, Yu Yenha, and even Kim Soo-ho were looking at me in awe. A clean pomade hairstyle and a light beard like that of a Western model. My eyes naturally turned to my smartwatch. Increase, Meister Barber's Touch. Temporarily increases the invariable charm stat by 0.5. Duration, 4 weeks. When I saw this alert, I shot up and asked the barber respectfully, "May I ask your name?" "Oh, do you like it that much?" "The name is Kim Woo-suk." "Kim Woo-suk. Do you perhaps have a son?" "I do have an 8-year-old. His name is Kim Ho-jin." Kim Ho-jin. If he was alive in the present world, I would have to visit him when I wanted a haircut, as gifts were often hereditary. I grabbed Kim Woo-suk's hands and bowed. Then I looked around. A mother waving with a child in her arms, older people smiling in delight, and young men and women giving me respectful gazes. I also bowed to all of them. Thank you for everything. Getting my hair cut was the last business of the day. No, of the past. No, we should be thanking you instead. Goodbye. Will you come by again? These young men and women will do great things in the future. I'm sure we'll see them in the newspapers. We didn't explain much to the people of the past. They didn't know this was the world of the past or that they were just records. Then I turned to Kim Soo-ho and the others. Now it was time to do what we needed to do. Kim Soo-ho and the rest of the party nodded with somewhat sad smiles. We'll go get them. Yeah. They each went to retrieve a crystal, and I entered Gwangmyeong City Hall. After slowly climbing the stairs, I sat down on the rooftop floor. Then I looked up at the sky. The sun was halfway down the horizon. The world was dyed orange by the beautiful sunset. As I waited for the others to return, I leisurely watched the scenery. Soon, the northeast water tower's purple light disappeared. I could see Yi Young-han climbing the south steel tower. The fragments of the past were slowly coming together. After about 10 minutes, I felt a presence behind me. Take this, Kim Hajin. The first to return was Shin Jong-hak. He tossed the crystal to me casually and went back down. His lackeys, fan club members, were waiting for him with eyes full of tears. "Yo, Kim Hajin!" A loud voice rang out from the ground. Yi Young-han threw the crystal up from the ground, which I caught. Thanks. Next was Yu Yenha. With the clacking sound of her high heels, she walked up to the rooftop. "Where did you get those high heels?" "They were gifted. I'm quite popular, you see." Yu Yenha approached and handed me the crystal. "Oh, by the way, as I received her crystal, I asked what I'd been curious about for some time. While you were under the influence of the curse, you didn't enjoy it or anything, right?" "What do you mean? Why would I enjoy it?" "Oh, never mind. Just ignore what I said. In truth, there was a setting I got rid of. Yu Yenha likes being bullied.
It was never mentioned in the actual story because it felt too strange, and the opportunity never came up. But I was curious if the setting made it into this world. Anyways, I'll be leaving now. As Yu Yenha went down, Kim Suho came up. Kim Hajin, here you... Oh, come down with me. I want to be with Hajin. Oh, hey, what are you doing? Kim Suho was dragged away by Yu Yenha as soon as he gave me the crystal. The final crystal arrived 3 minutes after Kim Suho disappeared. I'm here, Kim Hajin. Chae Na-yoon trudged up to me and handed me the crystal. With this, all 6 crystals maintaining the past had been gathered. Are you going to destroy them now? She sat down next to me with her knees together. Yeah, get ready. Can I watch? Sure. I put the crystals on my palm. Then I infused Stigma's magic power into the crystals. Instantly, the tattoo on my upper arm glowed blue, and the crystals fused together, forming a small sphere. I held the crystal with my thumb and index finger, then lightly squeezed it. Clang! A clear, sharp sound rang out, and the crystal disappeared into purple dust. Change happened quickly. The scenery began to disappear. The sky shattered. The past broke down. I calmly watched the recorded world of 1972. Hey, Chae Na-yoon suddenly asked. Like me, she was watching the disappearing sky. Is this what it means to forget? What are you talking about?
Nothing. I was just wondering if forgetting meant that the person disappeared from my heart like this. She sounded calm. Her eyes were red, as she was clearly thinking about her family. But she didn't cry. How would I know? Why are you asking about that all of a sudden? No matter how much I try to remember, I can't recall Mom's voice anymore. Her scent, the happy days we spent together. I can't remember them well. It's like they disappeared. I turned my head to the side, as did Chae Na-yoon. Since I'd never experienced anything like it, I chose my words from a book I once read. Don't worry about it too much. You can't smell anything from a flower that doesn't wither. What's that? So cringy. It is what it is. Being worn down and partially forgotten helped make memories precious. But it seemed I failed to make her empathize. I took something out of my pocket and gave it to Chae Na-yoon. Here, you can have this. Eh? It's a ticket. Chae Na-yoon tilted her head at my explanation. A ticket? A ticket that will help you see flowers for a while. I felt my fingers curl up at my own words. In any case, what I gave to Chae Na-yoon was a time capsule. It was a small box with a lock and an analog clock marked 012018. What's this? A time capsule. You know what that is, right? Do you think I'm stupid? Of course I do. This was one of the items I noted in my settings book and never used. It took a whole day's worth of Stigma's magic power to find it using the Book of Truth. But what is it for? And why are you giving it to me? You see the number there? You can change it and go back to that time period for a while. More precisely, you're looking through the memory you have of that time buried deep inside your subconscious. Chae Na-yoon widened her eyes and stared at me. Then she blurted out a single word. Really? Yeah. Why aren't you using it instead? When she said that, I felt a tinge of pain in my heart. In truth, I plan to use it for myself. One day, perhaps 5 or 6 years from now, when my parents' voices and appearances were fading, I planned to use it to hold on to my memories. But now that I thought about it, bringing an item from this world back to the present would surely cause some sort of problem. Since that was the case, it was better to let Chae Na-yoon use this consumable item. I don't even know my parents' faces, so there's no point in me using it. Without any other choice, I made up a good excuse. Chae Na-yoon looked at me intently, then put the time capsule down. Then I won't use it either. What? It's cowardly. Either we both use it or we both don't. That's honor. I was stunned. I even felt a bit angry. I pushed Chae Na-yoon's temple with my finger. I should really smack you. What, are you crazy? Fight me then. Chae Na-yoon raised her fists and took on a boxing posture. Shut up and just use it. You'll regret it otherwise.
Chae-na-yoon pouted and picked up the time capsule. Despite what she said, it seemed she didn't want to give up on it so easily. "Where do you want to go?" "To 2013. Chae-na-yoon changed the numbers on the clock. "March 13th. "Why then?" Plop. Before I could finish asking, Chae-na-yoon disappeared without a trace, almost like magic, or perhaps a miracle. Suddenly, I was alone. I stretched and turned my gaze. Everyone else seemed to have gone back to the present. Half the world was dark. The sky was blurry, but pieces of the setting sun still shone down on me. Even a crumbling world was beautiful. Inside the slowly disappearing world, I closed my eyes. The ringing of the crumbling world seemed to echo in my heart. Once I opened my eyes, I should be back in the present world. "Hey, Kim Hajin!" I opened my eyes at the sudden voice. I quickly looked around. It seemed I was back in the present as I could see the scenery of Wind Mountain. With my half-closed eyes, I looked up at the person who called my name. "There you are!" Green vegetation, a clear mountain wind, and gem-like sunlight. Inside this beautiful scenery, Chae-na-yoon was smiling brightly.
Chapter 107, March 13th, 2013. It was a memory from long ago. A childhood story. I still longed for it, because it was the only birthday I had where everyone was present. Grandpa, Dad, Oppa, and even Mom. I wanted to see what happened on that day once more. I wanted to engrave it into my mind, so I could remember it for the rest of my life. 3/13/2013. Would it work? I wasn't sure at first, but when I adjusted the time capsule's clock next to Kim Hajin, whoom! I was suddenly engulfed by white light. Before I realized it, I had become my younger self, standing in a familiar garden where a birthday party was happening. Balloons were anchored to the ground, and on top of a big table was a cake with cartoon characters and all sorts of delicious food. "Nayan?" At that moment, a large hand touched my shoulder. Startled by the weight, my body stiffened. Then the kind voice rang out again. "Nayan!" It was the voice of a boy who hadn't reached puberty yet, but I knew whose voice it was. I barely managed to hold back my tears. Today was a good day. I didn't need to cry. Oppa, you're here?" My tongue didn't move as well as I wanted to, but I ignored it. Oppa kneeled down and snickered. "Guess what present I got for you?" "A scooter." "Eh?" Oppa looked flustered. "An electronic car for children. I knew he spent 3 months worth of his allowance to buy it." Did someone tell you about it?" Taken aback, he smiled wryly. I ran into his embrace. "Thank you." He looked a bit disappointed that I found out about his present, but he smiled and lifted me up. I'm the one who should be thankful. Then the front door became noisy. Still in his arms, I looked past his shoulder. Dad came with Grandpa. "Hiya, my little babies." Grandpa approached, smiling kindly. Oppa handed me to Grandpa. Grandpa's chest was harder and heavier than Oppa's. "Happy birthday, Nayan."
Thank you, Grandpa.
Grandpa looked a bit surprised. I probably was scared of him when I was young. He stroked my head and put me down. Standing on the grass, I looked ahead. My heart trembled and my hands were sweating. Along with a light breeze, that person finally appeared. With white jade-like skin and long, feminine brown hair, Mom was walking in from the front door. "Mom!" I called her for the first time in a long, long while. I could feel my face contorting. My lips were probably bulging out unattractively, and my eyes were probably half distorted. But just calling her name wasn't enough. I ran with all the power I could muster and leaped into her embrace. A delicate fragrance seeped into my body. A voice I'd long forgotten filled my ears. I cried and cried again, so much that I couldn't open my eyes. I sat at the head of the table, still in Mom's embrace. Dad spoke worriedly. "Nayan, why are you crying? Are you hurt anywhere?"
Leave her be. She's still a child. I barely managed to stop crying after about 5 minutes. That was how long it took me to realize this wasn't reality. It was too precious a time to waste crying. I wiped away my tears and looked at the cake in front of me. Grandpa waved his hand, lighting the candles on the cake. Mom laughed. Nayan, blow on it and make a wish. Wish? Yeah. When you close your eyes and make a wish as you blow out your birthday candles, your wish will come true. I closed my eyes. I didn't wish for anything excessive, just that I would remember this moment for the rest of my life. I blew out the candles, then opened my eyes. Clap, clap, clap. Everyone clapped and wished me happy birthday. Inside Mom's embrace, I held onto her hands and smiled brightly. Here you go, a scooter. Oh, when did my grandson get so much? It's because you give him too much allowance, Father. You shouldn't spoil him so much. Huh, are you complaining because I didn't give you as much when you were his age? What do you think, daughter? Here, Nayan. It's the penguin with glasses. I remembered reminding Mom that this penguin was called Pororo, but now I couldn't say anything because I had a lump in my throat. The surroundings were already turning white, as though ink was coming off a painting. Time was up. My heart felt like it would burst, and the tears I held back began to flow. Still hearing the loving voices of Mom and Opa, I closed my eyes. Soon, the world became silent. Cha! Then leaves rustled. When I opened my eyes, I was inside a mountain. I stretched, unable to think about anything. Now it was time to go find Kim Hajin. Chain Ayun reached out her hand to me, and I stared back at it. Was she trying to help me up? I took her offer. Thanks. When I got up, Chain Ayun gave me a renewed look. Hey. Yeah? Chain Ayun handed me the time capsule. The time capsule? You used it once, but it looks like it's still here. Really? I checked my smartwatch to find out why. You take it. Huh? Why? You should use it this time. Perhaps because it was brought to the present from the past, or because it was already used once before, the time capsule now had a required magic power amount. 15,000 units of magic power were needed to fully charge it to use it once. Afterwards, the required amount would double, making it practically impossible to reuse. It went without saying that it needed to be charged in one go by one person. No, you should use it later when you want to see them again. No, I can't. It's your turn to. I told you, I've never met them before. Immediately, Chain Ayun shut her mouth. So, you use it, okay? Okay. Chain Ayun replied, half reluctant, half glad. With a grin, I turned around and started going down the mountain. Ah, hey! Where are you going? I'm tired. I'm going back home. What? Chain Ayun ran up to me and grabbed my sleeve. When I looked down, she pulled her hand back. Why? Why are you going back now? Because I'm tired, aren't you? Because I'm sure am. But still, I'm not coming. I'm going back home. Fine. At my resolute refusal, Chain Ayun turned around, pouting. At that moment, my smartwatch rang. Here's my account number. I'll pay you back as soon as possible. It was Tomer. Before I came here, I wrote a promissory note for Tomer and even added the fearsome magic contract on top of it. Using my smartwatch, I transferred money to Tomer's account. Hey. Then I called Chain Ayun. She suddenly turned back around with a mischievous smile. Yeah? You're coming? No. Tell the other guys that I'm going back. Her face contorted like a crumpled newspaper. See you later. The moment I turned around, I got an alert from Violet Banquet. Tomer had transferred the fee, which would be converted into points for Violet Banquet, and transferred to me when I gave the information. I sent the information to Tomer. Fernan Jesus changed his name to August Benjamin. I descended the mountain as I wrote the reply. When I arrived at the foot of the mountain and was about to take out my bike, I received another message. Thank you so much for today. It feels like I received something precious. I'll treat you to something good later. It was a message from Che Nayun. She sure sounds affectionate. What past did she see? I wrote the reply with a smile on my face. Yeah. 7 p.m. I returned to Cube. Although I experienced 90 days in the past, only 7 hours had passed in reality. Whoop! Standing in Cube's Central Park, I stretched and took in the ocean breeze. For some reason, I felt relaxed. This place seemed to have become my home. I turned on my smartwatch as I walked back to the dorm. Blessing in Disguise increases your stats by 0.005 points. Blessing in Disguise increases your stats by 0.005 points. Blessing in Disguise increases your stats by 0.005 points. Your luck activates by consuming food rich in mana. All stats increase by 0.01 points. I went through the backlog of alerts from the past 90 days. Afterwards, I checked my stats. Strength, 2.970 plus 2.970. Stamina, 2.980 plus 2.980. Speed, 4.685 plus 4.685. Perception, 5.620 plus 5.620. Vitality, 3.070 plus 3.070. Magic power, 2.005. Oh, I'm at full power. The numbers in parentheses were temporary stats, gained from energy conversion. Thanks to staying in a mana-rich area for a long time, it had filled up to 100%. Just looking at it put a smile on my face. At that moment, I saw someone running toward me from the distance. A blonde girl wearing headphones, a sweatshirt, and sweatpants. It was Rachel. But I couldn't help but doubt my eyes when I saw her. What's up with the color of the sweats? Her sweatpants were spinach-colored, while her sweatshirt was bright blue. She was well-dressed for karaoke, so did she just put on whatever for running? I didn't make such a detailed setting, so I had no way of knowing. I remembered writing that she grew up in a sheltered environment, but that was obvious since she was a princess. Soon, Rachel's running speed slowed. It seems she discovered me. Hello, I bowed lightly. When she came close, she took off her headphones and smiled. It's been a while, Rachel C. Yes. Did you come back from England? Yes. Oh. I planned to head off since I didn't have much to say, but her sweats kept bugging me. I let out a dry cough and asked carefully, Do you usually wear sweats when you run? Yes. Ah. Rachel made an embarrassed face and asked shyly, Are they okay? Yes. Well, this is a bit embarrassing, but I've never chosen my own clothes before. My attendant usually picks out my clothes. Rachel spun as if to show off her clothes, but it was just too unfashionable. Since I'll be an adult soon, I'm putting more effort into choosing my clothes. She sounded unconfident in her fashion sense, and rightly so. I scratched my neck and muttered, I think you should just wear what your attendant picks out. Does it stand out? Yes, a lot. Ah. She scanned her clothes, then nodded as though she came to a decision. What was she planning to do? I watched her with interest. Ah! Almost as if she thought up a brilliant idea, Rachel suddenly bent down and pulled up one leg of her sweatpants. Then she looked at me, asking for confirmation. How about now? She must have misunderstood what I meant by standing out. Perhaps it was a problem with her Korean. Just wear what your attendant suggests. Rachel looked a bit disappointed at my reaction. She glanced at her legs for a moment, then pulled up the other leg of her sweatpants. How about... Pull them both down. Oh. Rachel pulled her sweatpants back down. I breathed a sigh of relief and asked, Are you out on a run? Yes. Hajin C. must have come back from a barber shop. You have a beard now. Yes? Well, yeah. I'm going to buy some fried chicken and go back. Fried chicken? Yes, fried chicken, joke ball, balsam, and pizza. Rachel tilted her head. I gave a brief explanation. I eat a lot. I see. Me too. Rachel murmured softly to herself and smiled. Then I'm going to go run some more. Yes, good night. With that, Rachel went off running, and I watched her for a moment before walking to the cafeteria. I returned home with both hands full of food, but when I opened the door, Evandel didn't run up to me as I expected. Evandel? Feeling somewhat odd, I walked into the living room. Then I was slightly startled. What the? I was met with quite a strange scene. Hyung was staring at me from the highest point in her tat tower, and Evandel was sleeping, hugging the tower's pillar. By the looks of it, she was trying to get Hyung to come down and fell asleep after exhausting herself. Judging by the mess on the floor, there seemed to have been quite a chase between the two. They're still fighting, huh? I approached Evandel laughing, then took a fried chicken leg and held it up to her nose. Nif, nif. Evandel's nose wiggled. Then she opened her mouth wide. Chrap! And bit down on empty air. Yum yum. When she couldn't taste anything after chewing over and over, she frowned. At that moment, Hyung jumped down from the cat tower. Papat! Hyung's paws struck Evandel's head, and Evandel's eyes shot open. Ah! Ah! She grabbed her head and groaned. Ah! She then discovered me and scurried back to the wall. What? What is it? What do you mean? Who is it? It's me, Hajin. Eh? Evandel began to study my face with her sleepy eyes. Hajin? Yeah, I had my hair cut. Come here, I brought fried chicken. Fried chicken? Bosam and jokbal. Bosam? Jokbal? Evandel muttered in a daze as she approached me. I knelt down and held my hands out. A small child waddled into my embrace. I smiled. There was something I always wanted to do. I rubbed my beard on Evandel's cheek. What is it? No! Startled, Evandel tried to run away, but it was too late. I was seeing her for the first time in 90 days. Without a doubt, I missed her a lot. I continued to rub my beard against her. Her soft skin felt nice against my prickly beard. Evandel resisted, even trying to shove her hand into my mouth and nose, but I didn't stop. Then Hyung approached us. She sent us a weird look, so I stopped rubbing my face against Evandel. Hyung stared at the back of Evandel's head and raised her paw. Just when I was wondering what she was up to, thwack! Hyung smacked Evandel's head and ran away. Kim Hyung, you get back here! Evandel began to chase Hyung furiously. However, Hyung had reached the peak of the cat tower in the blink of an eye. Yeah, you get down here. I finally understood what I saw when I got home.
Thank you so much for today. It feels like I received something precious. I'll treat you to something good later. It was a message from Chain Ayun. She sure sounds affectionate. What past did she see? I wrote the reply with a smile on my face. Yeah. 7 p.m. I returned to Cube. Although I experienced 90 days in the past, only 7 hours had passed in reality. Standing in Cube's Central Park, I stretched and took in the ocean breeze. For some reason, I felt relaxed. This place seemed to have become my home. I turned on my smartwatch as I walked back to the dorm. Blessing in Disguise increases your stats by 0.005 points. Blessing in Disguise increases your stats by 0.005 points. Blessing in Disguise increases your stats by 0.005 points. Your luck activates. By consuming food rich in mana, all stats increase by 0.01 points. I went through the backlog of alerts from the past 90 days. Afterwards, I checked my stats. Strength, 2.970, plus 2.970. Stamina, 2.980, plus 2.980. Speed, 4.685, plus 4.685. Perception, 5.620,
plus 5.620. Vitality 3.070 plus 3.070. Magic power 2.005. Oh, I'm at full power. The numbers in parentheses were temporary stats gained from energy conversion. Thanks to staying in a mana-rich area for a long time, it had filled up to 100%. Just looking at it put a smile on my face. At that moment, I saw someone running toward me from the distance. A blonde girl wearing headphones, a sweatshirt, and sweatpants. It was Rachel. But I couldn't help but doubt my eyes when I saw her. What's up with the color of the sweats? Her sweatpants were spinach-colored, while her sweatshirt was bright blue. She was well-dressed for karaoke, so did she just put on whatever for running? I didn't make such a detailed setting, so I had no way of knowing. I remembered writing that she grew up in a sheltered environment, but that was obvious since she was a princess. Soon, Rachel's running speed slowed. It seemed she discovered me. "Hello." I bowed lightly when she came close. She took off her headphones and smiled. "It's been a while, Rachel." "Yes." "Did you come back from England?" "Yes." "Ah." I planned to head off since I didn't have much to say, but her sweats kept bugging me. I let out a dry cough and asked carefully, "Do you usually wear sweats when you run?" "Yes." "Ah. This is a bit embarrassing, but I've never chosen my own clothes before. My attendant usually picks out my clothes." Rachel spun as if to show off her clothes, but it was just too unfashionable. "Since I'll be an adult soon, I'm putting more effort into choosing my clothes." She sounded unconfident in her fashion sense, and rightly so. I scratched my neck and muttered, I think you should just wear what your attendant suggests." "Does it stand out?" "Yes, a lot." "Ah." She scanned her clothes, then nodded as though she came to a decision. What was she planning to do? I watched her with interest. "Ah." Almost as if she thought up a brilliant idea, Rachel suddenly bent down and pulled up one leg of her sweatpants. Then she looked at me, asking for confirmation. "How about now?" It seemed she misunderstood what I meant by standing out. Perhaps it was a problem with her Korean. "Just wear what your attendant suggests?" Rachel looked a bit disappointed at my reaction. She glanced at her legs for a moment, then pulled up the other leg of the sweatpants. "How about pull them both down?" "Oh." Rachel pulled her sweatpants back down. I breathed a sigh of relief and asked, "Are you out on a run?" "Yes." "Hajin, she must have come back from a barber shop. You have a beard now." "Yes." "Oh, well, yeah. I'm going to buy some fried chicken and go back." "Fried chicken?" "Yes, fried chicken, jukbal, bosam, and pizza." Rachel tilted her head. I gave a brief explanation. "I eat a lot." "I see." "Me too," Rachel murmured softly to herself and smiled. "Then I'm going to go run some more." "Yes, good night." With that, Rachel went off running, and I watched her for a moment before walking to the cafeteria. I returned home with both hands full of food. But when I opened the door, Evandel didn't run up to me as I expected. "Evandel?" Feeling somewhat odd, I walked into the living room. Then I was slightly startled. What the heck? I was met with quite a strange scene. Hyang was staring at me from the highest point in her cat tower, and Evandel was sleeping hugging the tower's pillar. By the looks of it, she was trying to get Hyang to come down and fell asleep after exhausting herself. Judging by the mess on the floor, there seemed to have been quite a chase between the two. "They're still fighting, huh?" I approached Evandel laughing, then took a fried chicken leg and held it up to her nose. Sniff, sniff. Evandel's nose wiggled. Then she opened her mouth wide. Hop! And bit down on empty air. Yum, yum. When she couldn't taste anything after chewing over and over, Evandel frowned. At that moment, Hyang jumped down from the cat tower. Papa! Hyang's paws struck Evandel's head, and Evandel's eyes shot open. Ah! Ah! She grabbed her head and groaned. Ah! She then discovered me and scurried back to the wall. What is it? What do you mean? Who is it? It's me, Hajin. Eh? Evandel began to study my face with her sleepy eyes. Hajin? Yeah, I had my hair cut. Come here, I brought fried chicken. Fried chicken? Bosam and chukball, too. Bosam? Chukball? Evandel muttered in a daze as she approached me. I knelt down and held my hands out. A small child waddled into my embrace. I smiled. There was something I always wanted to do. I rubbed my beard against Evandel's cheek. Ah! Ah! What is it? No! Startled, Evandel tried to run away, but it was too late. I was seeing her for the first time in 90 days. Without a doubt, I missed her a lot. I continued to rub my beard against her. Her soft skin felt nice against my prickly beard. She resisted, even trying to shove her hand into my mouth and nose, but I didn't stop. Then Hyang approached us. She sent us a weird look, so I stopped rubbing my face against Evandel. Hyang stared at the back of Evandel's head and raised her paw. Just when I was wondering what she was up to, thwack! Hyang smacked Evandel's head and ran away. Ah! Ooh! Kim Hyang, you get back here! Evandel began to chase Hyang furiously. However, Hyang had reached the peak of the cat tower in the blink of an eye. You... She began to shake the tower with all the strength she could muster. Get down! Get down! Get down here! I finally understood what I saw when I got home.
In fact, Yuliana was the type who got backstabbed. Once someone earned her trust, the Yuliana of this time had the tendency to trust that person too much. In truth, that was only natural. After all, she was only 17 years old. The internal power struggle of such a massive guild was too dark and complicated for a 17-year-old girl to overcome. Come to think of it, that event should be coming up around winter break. The so-called Yuliana arrogation scandal. How are they? Oh, are these what I asked for before? I took out one of the pills from the envelope. Yes, they were made from condensing the ginseng and mana crystals together. Each pill should be at least 100 million won. 100 million won per pill? In other words, I had 2 billion won in my hands. Are they worth that much? Not exactly, but the type of people who buy such pills get more suspicious if the price is too cheap. Also, those pills are a bit special. Using the same ingredients, we could have made 300 to 400 of other types of medicines, so they have to be expensive to make. I checked the pill's description using my laptop. Ginseng pill, high intermediate rank. Consumable. A medicine created by neutralizing mana crystal solution with ginseng. A glimpse of a skilled, meticulous technique can be seen. On consumption, strength, stamina, vitality, and magic power stats will permanently be increased by 0.001 to 0.02 over a 24-hour period. Note, the effect will diminish the higher the user's stats are. Chance of key deviation, 0.5%. Consuming several within 24 hours will drastically increase this chance. I was satisfied. Not only was it good for raising my stats, I could also modify it as I wanted to show even better effects. Eat one a day. Yeah, thanks. Since I got something good, I returned the favor. Oh hey, take this. I took out a ginseng I kept stored in my stigma. When Yuliana saw its faint brown glow, her eyes shone like jewels.
Wow, you found another one? Yeah, but Xinjiang Hack will be mad if he sees this. At my meaningful words, Yuyana quietly stared back at me. Even for me, it was impossible to find a ginseng every time I went to a mountain. But it was a different story if the mountain had an owner, especially if that mountain rarely had human visitors, like Ginseng Group's Wind Mountain. I whispered softly, "I'll leave it to your conscience. You can return it or use it." Kahum. Well, Zhang forgot my birthday once. Yuyana quickly understood what I was implying and smiled. As an accomplice, I also laughed. The ginseng that should have entered Xinjiang Hack's stomach was now in Yuyana's hands. Then I'll take off now. Yeah, see you. Yuyana turned back, and I continued on my way. Then suddenly, my smartwatch rang. It's me, Jamer. It was a message from Tomer. Seeing how her messenger ID was different, it seemed that she got a new smartwatch. What's up? Are you paying me back already? That was what I wrote back. But no matter how long I waited, she didn't reply. She must have gone to the retirement center, so she probably needed some time to collect her thoughts. I decided to wait for her patiently. Hajin, what did you bring back? Meow. As soon as I came home, Haiyang and Evandel ran up to me. What? Why are you guys so friendly today? Huh? We were always friendly, right, Kim Haiyang? Friendly? Yeah, right. And what was up with Kim Haiyang? Hajin. Evandel hopped up and down in front of me, urging me to pick her up. I raised Evandel up and put her down on the couch along with snacks. Today, I brought back a special roll cake. Whoa! Seeing the cake's white texture, Evandel's eyes sparkled. I sat down at the kitchen table and swallowed a ginseng pill. Then I checked the official schedule. Mission experience. Cadets are to select one of the 6 missions to experience: escort, tunnel, field, coliseum, group monster subjugation, dungeon. Mission experience. As cadets, we were to experience the various missions heroes would do. In a way, they were similar to combat training. Each cadet had the same 6 options, and if my memory serves correctly, Kim Soo-ho and Rachel should choose the tunnel. This is also when Lancaster started to get a little active. Wing! My smartwatch vibrated. Yo, Kim Hajin, which mission are you choosing? I'm thinking of going with the tunnel. Emoticon of a hamster running around. It was a message from Chain Ayun. When I was about to write a reply, a loud shout rang out from the living room. Hajin, she keeps trying to steal my food. Looking up, I saw Evandel holding the cake box up high, with Haiyang trying to climb up Evandela to get to it. Just when I was wondering if they became friends, Haiyang. Hearing my voice, Haiyang backed off. Only then did Evandel look relieved. Hajin gave this to me. You have your own food. Eat the cat food over there. Evandel scolded Haiyang and put the cake box down on the table. When I looked back down to reply to Chain Ayun, I received yet another message. Are you awake? The sender was Boss. That was what I had her saved as. Yes, I'm awake. Uyak! As I sent the reply, another ruckus broke out between Evandel and Haiyang. I didn't know what happened, but I figured I'd just leave them to sort things out. Little apprentice, do you have a Violet Banquet ID? No, I don't. Ha. I furrowed my brow. Did she just laugh at me through texting? Do you want one? Want one? Typo. Laughing, I replied, it'd be great to have one. Ha. She was laughing at me again. What was she doing? Then suddenly, feeling that things were too quiet, I raised my head. Weren't Evandel and Haiyang fighting? When I looked at the living room, Evandel was sitting on the couch pouting. I hate you. You always steal my food. That was what she was murmuring. Seeing how Evandel and Haiyang had the same amount of whipped cream around their mouths, I could guess that they shared the roll cake evenly. Or perhaps it was more accurate to say that they stole from each other evenly. In any case, Evandel wasn't looking at Hyang at all. However, Hyang was acting a bit strange. Meow. Hearing her cry, Evandel glanced at Hyang but immediately turned back. She was pouting hard. Hyang then sneaked up and sat down next to Evandel. Who might you be? Evandel muttered curtly and scooted away. Meow. Hyang chased after Evandel. Evandel repeatedly moved away, then plopped down in front of the TV. Hyang continued to chase after her, purring cutely and rubbing her body against her. The corner of Evandel's mouth twitched. Now it was only a matter of time before she forgave Hyang. Hyang seemed to know this, as she continued to be playful. While I was watching them with a fatherly smile, Boss replied, I thought you'd say that, so I prepared a Violet Banquet ID for you. The access code is QKENPWNKSD3942080808. The ID is Fenrir. Password is you can change the password in your settings. The password was complex yet insanely simple. Thank you. But why Fenrir?
Fenrir. That will be your mercenary code name. Fenrir, a mythical-grade wolf monster that appeared in Northern Europe several years ago. It was world-renowned for devouring hundreds of heroes and causing billions of euros in property damage. Although it was dubbed Fenrir, no one knew for sure whether it was the real Fenrir from Norse mythology. As such, many people also called it the Demon Wolf, reserving the title Fenrir.
That's quite a grandiose name. Isn't it too much for me? I think it's footin'. Fitting. You look like a wolf too. Eh? Where? Your chinky eyes? I looked at the mirror. Weren't my eyes pretty round? If anything, it should be because of my beard. If it's because of my appearance, can it be Lobo? Lobo, like robot wolf? That's a weird wolf. No, I scratched my neck. Lobo, like the Wolf King. No, wait, why am I talking like I'm an official member? I never said I would officially join Jeremony Mercenary. Wait, I still haven't... After thinking about it for a bit, I deleted the reply. Now wasn't the time to play hard to get. Soon, Che-Ji Noon would wake up as a devil. To prevent the tragedy that he would cause, I had to get close with Boss. I already considered all other possibilities. Killing him was the only option. The more I thought about it, the more complicated I felt. I wrote up a reply. Do as you want. By the way, what about that 300 million won item we talked about? I'll sift it to your Violet Banquet ID. Sand, stay online. Did she have small fingers, or was she just bad at typing? She kept making typos. Then again, Boss wasn't good with electronics even in the original story. She was weak with technology. Yes, I'll be waiting. 1. Reference to Lobo the King of Kurumpa by Ernest Thompson Seton.
Chapter 109. The World's #1 Guild, Creator's Sacred Grace. Inside its guild building, Ark, Yun Sung-ah, was inspecting her new office. She glanced at her badge, which now displayed her updated rank. Rank 250. Vice Leader Yun Sung-ah. The office, given to celebrate her achievement as the world's 250th ranked hero, was both grand and elegant. Do you like it? Her secretary asked. Yun Sung-ah only smiled in response. Right. Don't I have a schedule for Cube's mission experience? Yes, October 5th, next Monday, Vice Leader Yun will be in charge of the tunnel. Yun Sung-ah sat down, enjoying the comfort of her blood alligator leather chair. She hummed in satisfaction. I can't believe it's October already. Time sure flies. You're right. So, any interesting news? There's one. It seems Geronimo Mercenary has a new recruit. Oh, really? Yun Sung-ah's eyes sparkled with interest. Geronimo Mercenary had a close relationship with her. Like other top guilds, Creator's Sacred Grace was divided into teams, each with its own tasks. Yun Sung-ah began her career in the Jinn Eradication Team,
where mercenaries were often needed to fight Jin. Has his code name been determined? Although we're not sure, our sources say it's Fenrir. Oh, Yun Sung-ah let out a small exclamation. That's quite a grandiose code name. She remembered Fenrir well. Creator's Sacred Grace had fought that monster 10 years ago, and valuable data still remained in their records. Yes, but he specializes in assassination and sniping. Really? That doesn't fit the codename. The demon wolf Fenrir was a monster that tore everything apart with its teeth. Assassination and sniping. Though both involved killing, mercenaries in this field often received attention, as humanity's main enemies were jinn, not monsters. Since he joined Geronimo Mercenary, he must be an extraordinary specialist. They didn't reveal his identity? No, our sources only heard rumors. Not much else is known. I'm looking forward to it. They make a spotlight video for every new recruit. These mercenary cinematics showcased each new member's gift and power. Geronimo Mercenary started with 13 members and used these videos to advertise themselves. It's not looking like a new mercenary cinematic will come out. Well, I'm still looking forward to it. My heart beat faster, as if I'd heard my favorite game was getting a sequel. That was how much I liked using Geronimo Mercenary as a blade. Lee Gyung-han name invited Kim Suho name, Kim Hajin name, Lee Ji-yoon name, Rachel name, Chae Na-yoon name, Hazuki name, and 3 others. Lee Gyung-han name. Hi Hee, this is the group chat for the tunnel team. Chae Na-yoon told me to make one. Chae Na-yoon. What? When did I say that? Lee Gyung-han name. Huh? What? Kim Suho. What's up with this group chat? What is it for? Lee Ji-yoon name. Hi Suho, haha. Lee Gyung-han name. I don't know. Chae Na-yoon told me to make it. Kim Suho. Oh, hey. Kim Suho. Chae Na-yoon did? Chae Na-yoon. No, it wasn't me. Lee Gyung-han name. Do you want to die? Shi-chien name. Hello. Lee Gyung-han name. Oh, it's been a while, Chen. Lee Gyung-han name. Chae Na-yoon messaged me. She said to create a group chat, so we can move around together. Chae Na-yoon. When did I say that? It isn't me really. You know that he's a pathological liar, right? The heck is this? When I came back from showering, there were about 500 new messages on my smartwatch. It seemed I was in a group chat for the tunnel team. Was there something like this in the original story? I didn't think so. I skimmed through the messages. Cadets usually went to their missions alone by 10 a.m. From the chat, it looked like they wanted to meet up and go as a group. Now that I understood, I sent a message, not to the group, but to Rachel. Rachel, are you going with the group? Yes, I am. Then you should wear what your attendant gives you. Why? What do I do? Rachel had been my biggest concern lately. I needed to give her the butterfly seedling dust, but I couldn't think of a way. Should I put it in an accessory? The butterfly seedling dust only adhered to those with hidden potential. If I sealed it in a necklace or bracelet and had Rachel wear it, the dust would naturally seep into her. That seemed like a good plan. A bracelet would be less conspicuous than a necklace. I could say it was a reward for her performance in the team challenge. Perfect. I browsed an accessory shop on my smartwatch and picked a bracelet for about 100,000 won. At that moment, I received a message. Hey, did you used to do volunteer work? It was Tomer. Yeah, I did, but why? No reason. I was just thinking maybe I should do it too. That's a good idea. But have you ever met a Latino like me while you were volunteering? Eh? Did she not find her father's letter? What happened at the retirement center? She must have met a different nurse. If she didn't meet the head nurse, she probably didn't hear about the letter. I replied, yeah, I have. Why? But Tomer didn't reply no matter how long I waited. Maybe she'd message me again in a week. Things must be complicated for her, so I can understand. Hajin, Hajin! Ivandel called from the living room. I put on a t-shirt and walked over. Hyang was lying on the couch, while Ivandel was busy at the kitchen table. I watched her for a moment. 2 slanted eyes, a protruding mouth, and a 4-legged body with a rough mane. It was a wolf. Wow, what's this? It looks so good. I sat next to Ivandel and stroked her head. She laughed and pushed the wolf to me. Here, it's Hajin's. Mine? Look, Ivandel tapped the small wolf's back. Suddenly, the white wolf developed color and ran into my chest, growling, "Whoa!" Startled, I fell back. When I opened my eyes, the wolf was gone. Only Ivandel was looking at me mischievously. What, did you pull a prank on me? You... no, ha. I tickled Ivandel's sides. She was especially ticklish, so just a little was enough to make her cry and roll around, but I stopped after 30 seconds. But it's a present, Ivandel muttered out of breath on the floor. Only then did I notice something on my chest, where the wolf had jumped in. There was a wolf symbol. What's this? I checked my smartwatch. Buff, infused ghost wolf. The wolf recognizes you as your master. Energy of the wolf. Increases strength, stamina, speed, and vitality by 0.1 point. Sixth sense of the wolf. When a life-threatening danger is sensed, a huge wolf will emerge to protect its master. Movement of the wolf. You make less sound while walking. Oh wow! Ivandel had finally learned to make something useful. She wanted to show off and earn my praise, but I'd misunderstood her. Feeling sorry, I hugged her tightly. Thank you. Ivandel didn't say anything. When I looked down, wondering if she was angry, I found her sound asleep. She must have used a lot of energy to create the wolf. Cutie. I picked her up and put her on the bed.
When I returned to the living room, I saw an alert from Violet Banquet. You received an item. It was likely from Boss. A purple portal appeared on my laptop screen. Pong. A cylindrical object the size of a baseball popped out. It looked like a yo-plate, but it was actually an Under Armour. Pinnacle Grade Under Armour. Pinnacle Grade. Partial Artifact. Stored Mana 5000/5000. Body Reinforcement. Increases strength, stamina, vitality, and speed by 0.3 points. Artifact Transformation. Uses stored mana to activate the following effects. Haste. High rank defense enhancement. Body shape correction. Corrects your body shape upon equipment. Underwater mask. Can create a mask that allows you to breathe underwater. Under Armour with state-of-the-art defense equipment made by refining artifacts with magic engineering. Let's see. I put the cylinder on my bare chest and infused some magic power. Chwak! A dark blue mana spread out and enveloped my body. As a defense item made from mana-producing crystals, an Under Armour could easily cost over 300 million won. This one could be worth 1 billion or more. As expected, Boss tended to undervalue items. I put the armor away and texted Boss a thank you. The next day, 9 a.m. The tunnel team met in front of the Cube portal station as promised in the group chat, except for one person. Isn't Kim Ha-jin always the last one? Don't you think so too, Rachel Shi? Yi Young-han asked Rachel, trying to be friendly. Rachel didn't react, her eyes saying, "It's bad to talk about someone behind his back." There he is. Yi Young-han pointed, feeling awkward. A student who didn't look like a student at all was walking toward them. His hair was styled nicely, his beard trimmed, and he wore a black jacket and boots, looking like he was in his mid-20s. He didn't shave his beard yet. Maybe it's because a certain someone praised him for it, Young-han muttered, nudging Che Na-yoon.
Flustered, Che Na-yun's face turned red. What about me? What? I didn't do that. He even ignored all the messages I sent him. Oh, you even messaged him first. As Che Na-yun trembled in anger, Kim Hajin joined the group. Kim Hajin, you're 3 minutes late. Yi Young-han tapped his smartwatch, clicking his tongue. Ah, sorry. It's fine. It's only 3 minutes. Anyway, Hajin, you look great today, Kim Soo-ho said, nudging Kim Hajin. Like you're one to speak. Kim Hajin placed his hand on Kim Soo-ho's waist. Che Na-yun was disgusted by how close they were. I'll forgive you since it was only 3 minutes. All right, let's go to Busan. Yi Young-han, the class president, led the group. They took the portal to Seoul, then to Busan. The most famous tunnel in Busan was the underwater tunnel, built by the renowned architect Kim Kyung-gwan. It passed through the ocean connecting Japan and China. Its purpose wasn't trade, but subjugation of sea monsters and dungeons. Hey, as the group walked to the tunnel entrance, Che Na-yun tapped Kim Hajin's shoulder. What? Why didn't you shave? The answer was simple. The beard's 0.5 charm buff would disappear. Kim Hajin replied half-heartedly. Just because. Just because? What? Nothing. By the way, why aren't you replying to my texts? It says you read them too. To be honest, Kim Hajin was playing hard to get. Just thinking about it made Che Na-yun frown. I forgot. What? Ah, over there. Yi Young-han pointed. A woman stood at the tunnel entrance. Whoa! Isn't that Yoon Sung-ah Hieronym? Hearing this, the cadet's eyes lit up. The world's rank 250 hero, Yoon Sung-ah, was admired for her beauty and talent. In front of her, a few cadets froze. When Yoon Sung-ah noticed us, she took a step forward. Instantly, a powerful gale swept by, and her single step covered 200 meters. Whoa! Ah! It was teleportation using magic power combustion. Her sudden appearance startled several cadets. Hello, everyone. Yoon Sung-ah scanned the group with a relaxed smile. Soo-ho-shi, Na-yun-shi, Young-han-shi, Rachel-shi, and Hajin-shi. Is that you, Hajin-shi? Yes. Oh my, you've changed a lot. You even grew a beard. Kim Hajin nodded silently. Good morning, everyone. I'm not good with words, so let's just head down immediately. Yoon Sung-ah gestured, and everyone followed her like ducklings. They got on the elevator. As it descended, Yoon Sung-ah explained, "This underwater tunnel is extremely useful. It allows us to hunt sea monsters and serves as a pathway to underwater dungeons." Ding! The elevator arrived underground. The tunnel was massive, wide as 4-lane highways, as high as 2 ogres. There were rest areas, restaurants, and vehicles. We're still underground, but as we walk farther, you'll see we're surrounded by water. It's a beautiful view. Following Yoon Sung-ah, the group walked on. As you walk down this main road, you'll see other roads forking out. If the sign says D, it leads to a dungeon. If it says M, it leads to monsters. Diddling, diddling. Yoon Sung-ah's smartwatch rang loudly. She frowned and checked it. Oh, shoot. There's an emergency at the end of the tunnel. I'll have to go ahead. She smiled awkwardly. I'll come back quickly, so just look around in the meantime. Yes, the cadets replied. Don't go too far. Stay in groups of 2 and check out the side roads. Yoon Sung-ah was about to leave, then turned and snapped her fingers. I'll form the groups fairly. She projected a smartwatch app that paired up the cadets. Kim Soo-ho and Che Na-yun, Yi Young-han and Hazuki, Shi Shen and Yi Jian, Kim Hajin and Rachel. The groups were quickly formed. Then I'll be back in a jiffy. Before running down the tunnel, Yoon Sung-ah winked at Che Na-yun. Che Na-yun smiled bitterly as she watched her go. I didn't need you to do that. Her gaze turned to Kim Hajin, who was laughing with Rachel. Tisk. Che Nayun clicked her tongue and walked to Kim Suho. Hey, Che Nayun. Hey. Wing. At that moment, Che Nayun's smartwatch rang. She checked it casually. This is the director of Daehan Hospital. Today, around 10:23 a.m., patient Che Ji-yun showed signs of waking up. Although I can't say for certain that he will soon wake up, it is surely a great sign. Hearing this sudden, unexpected message, Che Na-yoon's mind went blank. Author's note: Yoon Sung-ah's age has been buffed. Now she's only 10 years older than Suho.
Chapter 110. Road D3C. Rachel and I walked together down this road. D meant the road led to a dungeon. 3 meant it was the third one opened, and C meant the dungeon had been conquered. The tunnel walls displayed lists of monsters from the dungeon, and the heroes who likely participated in its conquest. It feels like I'm in an aquarium. The transparent walls revealed a beautiful ocean view. We were about 75 meters below sea level. Too shallow for monsters above intermediate rank to live. The monsters I occasionally saw were all cute and harmless. I didn't find the view particularly appealing, so I just kept walking. After a while, I realized Rachel had disappeared. Wondering where she went, I turned around. Rachel was far behind, pressed against the transparent wall, watching a school of fish. Her ocean-colored eyes sparkled like emeralds. I quietly walked back to her. Pretending to look at the fish, I rummaged through my jacket. The bracelet clinked in my hand. How should I give it to her? Would giving it now be too random? I had little experience giving presents, so I wasn't sure. What was I supposed to say? I picked it up on my way here? Sounded weird. Thank you for everything until now made it sound like I was leaving forever. It will help your development made me sound like a scammer. Wow! At that moment, Rachel let out a childlike exclamation of awe. I followed her gaze. Beyond the tunnel walls, a school of tiny fish swam in a line, forming a giant blob the size of a whale. Amazing! Right? Korea is the only country with an underwater tunnel this size. Is that so? Yes, because I read many research papers on underground tunnels. Research papers and Rachel. Hard to name a better duo. I had to work hard to understand those research papers, since they were in Korean. Now that I'm seeing the real thing, it's even more amazing. I see. In my old world, research papers were mostly in English. But here, from college theses to academic symposiums, most were written in Korean. Korean had become the shared language of the world. Yes, because reading translation versions often leads to loss in meaning. Ah, I see. Translated versions. Right. I'm grateful Korean is my first language. I chuckled. English was the subject I bombed on the college scholastic ability test. I remembered regretting not taking extra English classes. I'm jealous. Apparently, English was the shared language before outcall. Isn't that interesting? Oh, then... Wow, look, there's a shark. A baby shark. You're right. This princess seemed to love the ocean. Staring in awe at the tiny shark swimming by. Regardless, this felt like the perfect moment. With the vast ocean around us, watching the scenery from the inside of the tunnel. I took a deep breath. Rachel, she... Yes? Rachel turned her eyes from the baby shark to me. Smiling awkwardly, I took out the bracelet I'd prepared. Inside its platinum shell was the sealed butterfly seedling dust. This might be too sudden, but it seemed like the perfect opportunity. Rachel only stared at me, blankly. She didn't say anything or try to take the bracelet. I muttered the excuse I'd prepared. So, about this, remember how you helped me a lot before as the team captain? Everyone chipped in to buy this bracelet, so don't misunderstand. Rachel still didn't say anything.
A second that felt like 10 passed. I suddenly felt dizzy. Screw it. I held up the bracelet in my right hand and took Rachel's wrist with the other. Then I put the bracelet on her. Click. Now, once she unleashed her magic power, the butterfly seedling dust would seep into her body on its own. I breathed a sigh of relief. Rachel silently looked back and forth between me and the bracelet. She stared at me with a sorrowful look, then dropped her head. Her lips moved as if she was about to say something. It was then... Kong? A sudden vibration shook the tunnel, and all the lights flickered off. In an instant, we were surrounded by complete darkness. I quickly took out the Desert Eagle, and Rachel drew her rapier. Tuck, tuck. Soon we heard footsteps. I turned toward the sound, but not even my 1,000-mile eyes could see the source. What? You're with a companion. A dark voice rang out. I couldn't quite understand what he was saying, but I could tell he was speaking English with a British accent. Because of that, I easily guessed who it was. Lancaster. Rachel's face stiffened. Sir Lancaster. Don't you worry. I'm only here to talk. Because I watched something amusing today, I'm not really in the mood to fight. I could only understand the first half of his sentence. He was only here to talk. Here. As soon as Lancaster said this, a corpse suddenly dropped from above. The body was bloodied from head to toe, its limbs twisted in unnatural ways. Heek! Whoa, what the... I cursed without thinking. Rachel was also shocked. Her wide eyes turned to me. You cursed? Kahum. I coughed awkwardly. Then we turned our focus back to Lancaster. That person is an agent who has been guarding you from the shadows. Princess, I am always watching you. I want you to know that. After that, Lancaster's voice disappeared. I struggled to comprehend this mind-numbing situation. I expected Lancaster to appear, but not like this. He should have sent a few assassins, making Rachel awaken her ability and defeat them, then say, "My goal today was only to scare you." But what the hell was he doing throwing around a corpse? The heck? Just as Lancaster said, there were no other threats, and the lights soon came back on. The tunnel was lit once again. However, the corpse that had startled us was nowhere to be seen. Where did the corpse go? I muttered in a daze. Rachel tapped my shoulder. Hajin, let's go outside. Ah, yes. We began to walk back, staying alert. The eerie, chilling atmosphere gave me goosebumps. Rachel glanced at me and asked, Are you okay? Yes. Of course. I was just surprised. So, who was that? I will tell you later. We came out to the main tunnel. Everyone else was already back, deep in serious conversation. Hajin, come here. Kim Soo-ho found me and called me over. What's up with them? Hold on. I left Rachel behind and ran up to Kim Soo-ho. What's up? Hajin, you see. Kim Soo-ho told me that Chai Jin-yun showed signs of awakening, and China Yun had run to meet him. The moment I heard this, I blacked out. When I woke up, I was running somewhere. I ran to Daehun's VIP-only hospital. I would have gone by bike, but I left it at home today. So I took Busan Portal Station and ran all the way to Daehun's VIP hospital in Seoul. After running like the wind, I arrived in front of the hospital. My heart screamed in pain, my lungs about to burst. After I caught my breath, a familiar voice called out. You heard the news?
Startled, I turned around. As I thought, the familiar voice belonged to Yu Yan-ha. She also seemed to have come in a hurry, but her appearance wasn't shaken at all. Yeah, you too? Yes, I have the duty to participate in all important matters related to the Che clan. But why did you run over in such a hurry? Without answering, I glared at the hospital. With the Book of Truth, I predicted that the devil's seed would sprout in January. Since it was still October, there should have been time. But I'd forgotten one thing: the possibility of Chai Jin-yoon waking up before the devil's seed sprouted. If that happened, things would get more complicated. Killing an unconscious patient was much easier than killing a conscious one who could walk around. Suddenly, a piece of cloth touched my forehead. Startled, I looked up. Yu Yanha was right in front of me. "Why are you sweating so much? Are you that worried?" With her soft handkerchief, Yu Yanha wiped my sweat. I looked down, wondering why we were at eye level. She was wearing kill heels. "Done. Here, you can have this." Yu Yanha handed me the handkerchief. Looking at the sweat-soaked cloth, I was surprised. Yeah, thanks." I took the handkerchief and looked back at the hospital. A deep sigh escaped me. He didn't wake up yet, but showed signs of doing so. It's not something to make such a big deal out of. Yu Yanha answered what I was wondering. "I see. That's great." I turned away. "Huh? You're going back already? Don't you want to see Nayun?" Yu Yanha sounded surprised. I replied as I walked forward. "No, I don't think I belong here." I moved slowly. I'd only run a little, but my body and mind were exhausted. Was this what mental exhaustion felt like? As I let out another sigh, my smartwatch rang with a message. "Little apprentice, I got the alert that you got your item. So when are you going to take on your next mission?" It was from Boss. I realized again she was the only rope I could grab onto. Clenching my teeth, I replied immediately. "I can start tomorrow." Watching Kim Hajin's figure slowly disappear, Yu Yanha thought about what he said. "I don't think I belong here." Sounds like a line from a drama. "I don't think I belong here." As she murmured in a deep voice, playing around, she received a message on her smartwatch. "Yunha, I'm heading over right now. Is Nayun doing okay?" The sender was Kim Soo-ho. I haven't even met. While typing a reply, she suddenly realized something. Did he leave to make room for Kim Soo-ho? Kim Soo-ho and Chae Nayun. Everyone knows that Chae Nayun had feelings for Kim Soo-ho. She clearly acted differently around him. If Kim Ha-jin wasn't dense, he would have realized that Chae Nayun liked Kim Soo-ho. Yu Yanha half-heartedly replied, "Not yet," and went into the hospital. No, she was about to walk in, but before she could, Chae Nayun trudged out from the entrance. She looked like she'd aged 5 years, but had a faint smile on her face. Yu Yanha raised her hand. "Nayun." "Ah, Yanha." Chae Nayun saw Yu Yanha and hurried over with a bright smile. She desperately needed someone to talk to. Chae Nayun and Yu Yanha sat on a nearby bench. Yu Yanha asked cautiously, "How's the situation?" "He's still I don't know. The doctor said the graph is spiking up and down. He chased me out saying Oppa needed to rest." Yu Yanha understood what Chae Nayun meant. "That's a good thing, right?" "Yeah, there were apparently other cases like this, and those patients all woke up within 3 months. Chae Nayun put her hands over her chest. "I feel like my heart is about to jump out of my body. How embarrassing. I shouldn't cry." Chae Nayun had lived the past 5 years thinking Chai Jin-yoon would never wake up. Her pent-up sorrow and struggles overflowed as she clenched her teeth and cupped her hands over her face. Soon her true feelings came out as sobs and tears. Chae Nayun cried, trembling with her whole body. Her tears should have been tears of happiness, but for some reason they were sad and pitiful. Yu Yanha gently patted her back without saying anything. Frankly, Yu Yanha couldn't empathize with Chae Nayun's story. Her family, though a bit obsessive and ambitious, was happy. But Che Jin-yoon had been in a coma for 5 years with no sign of waking up. Time could only have turned rage into sadness, sadness into frustration, frustration into despair, and despair into resignation. But just when all hope was lost, the possibility of his return had resurfaced. A family member thought lost forever was potentially coming back. Yu Yan-ha couldn't even imagine what Che Na-yoon was feeling. My chest hurts. Once Che Na-yoon's crying died down a little, Yu Yan-ha spoke. Oh right, Na-yoon. Apparently Kim Soo-ho is coming soon. That person already came by. That person? Kim Hajin. Kim Hajin came too? Yeah, he was here even before me. He was covered in sweat. Che Na-yoon slowly looked around with an odd expression, as if searching for someone hiding. But he's already left. Eh? Why? I don't know. Yu Yan-ha made a mischievous smile. Maybe he gave up his seat to Kim Soo-ho. What do you mean? Don't you like him? Kim Soo-ho, I mean. Immediately, Che Na-yoon's face stiffened. Just as she was about to say something, Yu Yan-ha turned slightly. Or maybe you liked him. No, it's neither. What are you talking about? Really? That's not how I saw it. Yu Yan-ha smirked and teased Che Na-yoon. But Che Na-yoon seemed to have lost all her energy from crying and didn't react much. It was then that they felt people running towards them. Yu Yan-ha and Che Na-yoon turned their heads. There, they saw Kim Soo-ho, Yoon Sung-ha, and even Shin Jong-hak.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like the video. Have a suggestion? Let me know in the comments.